So in this video we're going to be covering about 10 upcoming Oculus Quest titles. Some will be coming fairly soon within the next couple of days, and some we don't have an exact release date. They might even be released next year. Also, there are a couple of games in this list that I have touched on in previous videos before, but new content has come to light since I made those videos, so I'm going to touch on them again in this list. I'll have some of my previous upcoming Oculus Quest game videos linked in the description below if you want to check out even more games coming to the Oculus Quest. And with that, let's jump into today's list. So this game came as a bit of a surprise to me. Hand Physics Lab can still be sideloaded for free via SideQuest. It has a sandbox style environment that gives you a variety of activities to do, like shooting, painting, drawing, and all kinds of interactions that are centered around hand tracking, although you can also use the controllers too. I featured this game as one of my top hand tracking experiences in a recent video, and well, now it's going to be available on the official Quest store as of April the 1st. Now, will it be a paid experience, and what will happen to the SideQuest version, I'm not too sure, but it will make it easier for Quest users to access and download this experience, which is a great thing as it is one of the best and most fun hand tracking experiences you can get on the Quest to date. So what you're seeing here is early alpha gameplay of an Oculus Quest VR port called Wrath, Aeon of Ruin. So this port is done by none other than the legendary Team Beef. If you don't know, Team Beef has ported other classics in the past like Quake, Half-Life and Doom 3, just to name a few. And all of these ports have turned out fantastically well, so I'm expecting the same for this one too. So this game is a modern shooter developed in an old school way. You probably won't be surprised, it's powered by the Quake 1 technology and is brought to us by the same creators of Duke Nukem 3D. So in this game you are what's called an Outlander, and you're tasked with taking out the guardians of a dying world. So basically you have to kill everything in sight. It's fast, it's intense, and is said to have a great level design and a kick-ass soundtrack, taking the best parts of classic shooters like Doom, Duke Nukem, Unreal and Hexen and bringing them into the 21st century to make a game that I really cannot wait to get my hands on. I think one of the biggest selling points for me is not only the look of the game, but it's done by the same people who brought us Duke Nukem 3D, and as we know, Duke Nukem 3D is a classic first-person shooter. I like Duke 3D so much that in fact I think it's the only first-person shooter I've completed along with every official expansion ever made. And just as a side note, I love the look of this double-barreled shotgun here. It looks like it could be good enough to even rival the double-barreled shotgun in Doom 2. So our next game, Starcaller, is coming April 2nd. It's said to be a fast-paced puzzle-solving game. You are what is known as a Starcaller, and you are in a race against the clock to restore the temple walls to their former glory. And when night comes, you need to complete a final ritual and send falling star fragments back to the night sky. So I'm not going to pretend I fully understood everything I just said there, but it does sound very interesting. It's said to have 30 puzzles, which are randomized to make things a little different with each playthrough. It also seems at this point to be an App Lab release only, so not on the official store, and is set to cost approximately $20 US. So I've touched on this one before, but now we have a new trailer, so I thought I'd take another look. So Warhammer Age of Sigmar, this is meant to be an action-adventure game with some RPG elements. You have to take on the enemies, they're called the Nighthaunt, using magic and motion-based abilities. Now I don't know exactly what motion-based abilities means at this point, but since this game is from the same people that brought us Wizards, I imagine there's a gesture-based magic system of some kind. The trailer is really just eye candy at this point. It'd be nice to see some gameplay, but I do enjoy watching these trailers anyway, as it just really gets me pumped for the game. It's set to release sometime this year, and I will link the trailer in the description below if you want to check it out for yourself. So Green Hell is another game that I've touched on in a previous video. This is a survival game that is a port of the PC game of the same name. So in this game you are left alone in the jungle, no food, no equipment, and your goal is to survive. You do this by building shelters, making tools, and also crafting weapons to hunt and defend yourself. Now it's coming to the Quest later in 2021, and what you're seeing here is a bunch of new clips from an early alpha that have been posted showing how the game handles the motion controls, and it's looking pretty good. The game seems to have quite a high level of interactivity and decent physics. So I'm on the list to get an early access copy of this game so I can review it for you when it's released. So this next game will be another port. Unbinary is a hand-painted VR puzzle adventure game that's designed to immerse a player in an unusual moment in human history. So there's this super AI called Webby, and it's set to become the ruler of the world. But before it can do this, it needs to be audited, and that's your job. And you need to audit it by progressing through the game and completing a series of puzzles. So this game is currently in early access on Steam. But I did speak to the developer and they do have plans to port it over to the Quest. In fact, they made the visuals with a Quest port in mind. And you might be able to tell that this game was 100% hand painted in VR using Quill. As to when we will see an Oculus Quest release, I'm not entirely sure, but I think possibly we might see something even this year. So this next game I've touched on previously in another video before. It's called Zero Caliber Reloaded, and I should be getting an early access copy so I can review it when it's released. So I'm touching on this one again because more footage has been dropped of Oculus Quest gameplay. So in these videos you can see more footage of combat as well as the gun customization system. Now the gun customization system promises to be quite detailed. And as you can see in the footage, it lets you swap out the different attachments on the fly, so you can choose the best attachments for any particular situation. So this game is already on Steam, but rather than being a direct port from the PC onto the Quest, it's going to be completely reworked whilst keeping the game's core elements such as gun customization and a strong campaign focus. You can expect this one to be released in the second quarter of 2021. Vail VR is the next game on the list. Now, we don't have any release date for this as of yet. It might even be next year until we see this game on the Oculus Quest. What we do know is the developers plan to do a PC version of this game first and follow that up with a Quest version, but as I say, we don't know exactly when that will be. But this is a 5 versus 5 competitive first-person shooter. It's designed to be quite realistic in its gameplay, but it is set in this brutal sci-fi kind of environment. At the moment, we'll know there will be at least 2 multiplayer modes. There is a team deathmatch mode, which is pretty self-explanatory, and an artifact mode. Now, this artifact mode is Vail's core mode. It provides a full-scale skill ranking system, automated tournaments, and a ladder structure. The next game on the list is coming April 1st. This is Floorplan 2. It's your first day in the job and your boss needs a favour. All you have to do is find a lost treasure somewhere in the building and return it to save the company. Now it all sounds fairly straightforward, except that the elevator transports you to different, strange, unpredictable places that are packed with different kinds of puzzles and all kinds of strange characters. So just like Floorplan 1, Floorplan 2 is also an escape room game. But unlike Floorplan 1, which could be completed in about an hour, Floorplan 2 promises to be a longer experience. I'm really looking forward to this one. Floorplan 1 was a great game even if it was a little bit on the short side. So hopefully Floorplan 2 is a worthy successor to the original. Floorplan 2 will set you back about $25 on release. This next game is currently on Kickstarter. It's a story-driven fitness game called Gym Masters. So unlike many other fitness games on the Quest where you just choose a track or a session and you jump in, do your exercise and finish, this fitness game has a story. So you have a set of gym masters and each master has a bunch of mini games ready for you to play. Now the more progress you make through the game, of course the tougher the mini games get. So that means they're faster paced, the movements are harder and just basically more physically demanding. Examples of minigames include dodging pizza boxes and punching soda cans, or catching flies with an electric fly swatter. And so when you beat these minigames and beat these gym masters, you receive different objects like trophies and different accessories that you can use in your very own gym. So that's one of the coolest features about this game. You get to build your very own gym as you progress through the game. As I mentioned, you can back it on Kickstarter right now, and I'll leave the link in the description below if you're interested. This one is planned for release July 2021. So our next title is a blast from the past. This is Sam and Max This time it's virtual. So I believe Sam & Max began as a comic book, but the franchise didn't really take off until LucasArts released the game Sam & Max Hit the Road all the way back in 1993. So Sam is a 6-foot tall talking dog who wears a suit and a fedora, while Max is the short, aggressive bunny looking thing you're seeing on the video. So Sam and Max are a crime fighting duo. This game has funny banter and crime solving adventure elements. And what really excites me about this game is the man who wrote the original comics, Purcell, is consulting on the game design, the art and the story. They also have some veterans from LucasArts who are also giving their input on the game. And LucasArts had a great track record in the 90s for creating some real classic point and click adventures like Maniac Mansion and Monkey Island. So because of this, I'm expecting a quality game that's probably going to be dripping in nostalgia. And the final game on our list is Swarm. This is a fast-paced, arcade-style grapple shooter. This game is already in the coming soon section of the official Quest store and is set to release April 8th. So I've played the beta of this game and the grapple system actually works really well. It's a lot of fun in virtual reality. You kind of feel like Spider-Man, except you also have these two pistols you have to use to battle your way to the heart of the swarm. So it's a fairly intense game, it's a lot of fun and can be quite difficult. Upon release, this game is set to have 21 levels and 5 dynamic zones. And that's it for this list. Are there any games you'll be getting when they are released and why? Let me know in the comment section below. Do hope you've enjoyed the video. If you have, remember to hit that thumbs up button, and if you think I've deserved it, hit that subscribe button and the notification bell to be kept up to date with all the content coming out of this channel. Thanks as always for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.